What's up, bitches? And we are back with FOW Future Talk. And I'm brought to you with my partner, Thoutmon. Hey, what's up, dudes? It's been a while since we've been here at FOW Future Talk, but we are back, and originally it was supposed to be just me and Thoutmon. But with everything and how long it's been, we are brought to you back with Observer. Hey guys, what's up everybody? I'm back here, and well, there's no point to cover any of the episodes. Warzone just happened, and we gotta talk about Warzone. I'm going to explain the reasons behind the recent releases, and I have very unfortunate news to break here. And well, we're just gonna be talking about the world of wrestling in general, as there is other things to talk about. Yeah, I know what that story is too, Daffy. I know what that one is. Well, I guess without further ado, what are you guys gonna start with? Well, Observer, how about we start with just the world of wrestling? And when we say the world of wrestling, we mean what's been going on, just all around the world, and even in the competition of GVW. Yes, GVW recently did SummerSlam, which was a huge success, where we saw one of the biggest free agents in the world, Jay White, show up at SummerSlam. And also, there was FOW representation at SummerSlam, where, Observer, your best friend Trent Beretta went against Kenny Omega in a losing effort. Yeah, you just reminded me of some fresh PTSD, but it's alright. Yeah, Trent Beretta, he gave it his all, and at the end of the day, it was Chuck Taylor who screwed over Trent Beretta. But SummerSlam, yeah, as you said, I was there for some of it. It was a pretty big success, and yes, Jay White is in GVW now, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with him over there in GVW. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with Jay White. So far, it seems like he's doing his little thing with Hangman and the whole Bullet Club. So a little bit interesting, a little bit interested. Obviously they had a blockbuster main event over there, but I think we had a pretty big blockbuster main event ourselves over at on Warzone. But yes, well, they took over Detroit. Yes, they went to Ford Field. They nailed it out of the park. SummerSlam was great. They did what they needed to do. They drew in viewers. They drew in money. They did what they needed to do, and they did a good job at it. I'm not going to take that away from them, but at the end of the day, we're still better over here in FOW, because this is where the best wrestle. You said that right, Observer. This is the company where the best truly do wrestle, and this is a company full of greatness. But GVW, there's a reason why they're our competition. But another world of wrestling news. New Japan executive, New Japan staff member Master Splinter has left the company and invested his stocks and is looking to start up a wrestling company. He's looking to start up a wrestling company? Yes, he's just looking for another investor, somebody to take a chance with him. Huh. Well, Master Splinter's been in New Japan for such a long time, and, he was also helping with that partnership with ROH over there, so it's honestly a shock to see him leaving New Japan. But if he's going to be starting his own company, I wonder who's going to be willing to take that chance with Master Splinter. Well, I'm going to assure you, a lot of people are probably willing to take a chance. Master Splinter's a very great mind. He obviously, had a lot of say in New Japan, and a lot of, I have hope for him, and I'm curious to know where that's going to go. Yes, and, there's a lot of big-name free agents out there in the world, so if he really did start up a company, there's a lot of people he can get. Yeah. Trust me, I've tried to reach out to a couple free agents, and I can say this. Just for you guys watching, here's a little insider. Next episode, I was able to land a free agent. You're going to have to wait and find out. Watch next episode, see who it is. All I'm saying. Oh, dude, are you saying there's a debut? I might be saying there's a debut. I might be. Dude, that's pretty big information. Of course it is. Also, Observer, I guess while we're on this topic of debuts, how about we talk about the recent releases of FOW? Oh, the recent releases. It never feels good to release people. Obviously, they just want to have a job and a healthy well-being, but Listen, my reasoning with the War Raiders is we kept pushing them off TV because we were trying to find a right direction with them. We were trying to find a right story, we were trying to find right things, and they just never really felt like there was a right time with them. Never really felt like there was a right character. They got unhappy a lot over time naturally as they weren't on TV, and so it was kind of just a mutual thing that it's probably the best if we let them go. And as far as Kishimoto goes, look, he's a talented young individual. He really is. Um, but in the grand scheme of things, there wasn't too many plans for him internally backstage. I didn't want to waste his career. Obviously, he's so young. I didn't want to have him just sit around for, years on years not doing anything. And obviously, he can find his footing right back in New Japan. Just go back to Japan and, do some things. Maybe he wants to do some American indies, but he can find his footing in other places. He is a talented individual. I know he'll pick himself back up where he left off. That was just one to where I wasn't trying to waste his career, you know what I mean? I understand what you mean, but if that was the case, I mean, look, we have a lot of big stories. We have a lot of big plans, and we just didn't think there was a place necessarily on the card for Kishimoto. And if Kishimoto's watching this, I'm sorry. We're not trying to offend you or hurt any of your confidence within yourself, because again, you are a talented individual. I just wanted to make sure that you had the career that you're deserving of. Well, that's pretty thoughtful, I guess. Yeah, and it sounded like Shoutmon, you were gonna ask something else. Oh, dude, I was. So I've heard certain backstage murmurings about certain things. Oh, really? You've heard certain backstage things? Well, it would make sense. I mean, if you're gonna bring up what we say in that room, go ahead. So I've heard certain murmurings that, obviously Warzone's supposed to have a kickoff show, right? Well, yeah, I was supposed to have a kickoff show. I was heard internally that the JJ Danhausen match was canceled and scrapped. Is there any particular reason for that? Oh, JJ Danhausen. Yes, it was supposed to happen. There was supposed to be a kickoff show for the match to happen, the platform, so the match can happen. Obviously, Danhausen coming over here in FOW, we appreciate him for doing that, and we love Danhausen. Glad that he actually showed up here. But the reason the match was canceled is because JJ is just not medically cleared to wrestle. He is not. Honestly, I don't know if he'll ever be cleared to wrestle. His freak accident happened, right before Warzone. It was a sad thing that happened, and we kind of just decided we don't really need the kickoff show. You guys want to see Warzone. We wanted to do Warzone, and we didn't want to just throw in another member to go against Danhausen because it didn't necessarily make all too much sense. So we let Danhausen know. He decided not to show up, and that's okay. He didn't need to show up. Obviously his match wasn't there, and it was an unfortunate thing to happen. I mean, we wanted to see the match, and we wanted to see maybe JJ get some redemption, but until further notice, we have moved JJ off of the active roster. He's not going to be completely inactive. You'll still probably see him backstage, but we won't allow him to actually wrestle until he is medically cleared. Well, that's pretty saddening. It is a little upsetting for JJ, obviously. Was pretty popular. He was a little popular. But yeah, he had to get moved off of the active roster page, which, do you guys mind if I break some breaking news? Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it. What was that breaking news? We're talking about active rosters, and we're talking about superstars. Well, obviously at Warzone. At Warzone, we saw Public Enemy turn on Cheeto. And, obviously, they did a heinous assault after Cheeto had an amazing match with Kenny Omega, where he did come up short, and he was already heartbroken enough. Had his heart broken even more by his own faction. I had a little conversation with Cheeto over the phone, where, Observer, you good, dude? It was, mutually decided that, he will not be returning to FOW. What? Cheeto is, seemingly done with wrestling. Entirely. And, that hurts, man. That one hurts. Are you saying that Cheeto, like, retired? I'm saying that Cheeto's done with wrestling. The loss at Warzone got to him so much, and in New York and all of that, he's seemingly done. And that's one of my day one guys. I mean, I took a chance on him. He went out the park with it. I called him when I lost faith in, when I needed somebody to beat Kenny, and sure, he wasn't able to do it, but I didn't expect this. And yeah, historic title reign, and just a big man, a big historical figure here for FOW, and it's sad that he won't be here to continue to bring FOW into the future of wrestling. I'm gonna need a moment. Yeah, I'm gonna need a moment to process that information. Well, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by the Observer himself, Cheeto is no longer in FOW, and seemingly is out of wrestling entirely. Well, I mean, maybe he's not done with wrestling. I'm just assuming. I'm assuming it was the way that he was messaging and the way that we were discussing on the phone. It was just a certain tone. I got that feeling. But in the grand scheme of things, what he really said is he's taking a break from wrestling, but he does not want any association really with FOW. He is gone from FOW. He's no longer in FOW. If he is retired or seemingly done with wrestling, I do not know that. I am not Cheeto himself. I am just assuming that out of how he used his words and the tone in his voice, but that could have just been because it was a pretty emotional night for him in New York. But I'm just assuming it myself. I'm not the voice of Cheeto. I don't, I could message him right now, but I don't know if he'll respond to me. But, Okay, well, I guess that's a little better. Maybe he's not retired, but he's taking a break from wrestling. But he's still gone from FOW, correct? Yeah, he's done. He's not in FOW anymore. He wants a break from all wrestling for I don't know how long. He didn't tell me. He just said break from wrestling, and I don't know, man. It's still weird not having Cheeto. Just weird, man. I can't even really, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just a weird thing. It's just, yeah. Yeah, I can understand how that'd be a bit weird. I mean, Cheeto, as you said, a day one guy. Historic 828 days as international champion. An iconic reign. Has two of the best matches in company history. Maybe the most memorable rivalry in company history. And just seeing the organic and natural rise of Cheeto was just something special. And, yeah. So, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, it's just... Can we change the topic? Yeah, we can change the topic. Actually, dude, I do have something to change the topic to. Really? What is it? Well, obviously, since I now work backstage and I work, here for Future Talk and I do all this, I happened to stumble across a script of the Warzone match. Oh, did you now? Yeah, I did. And, was that Golden Bear stuff all on the spot? Because I read there was a different number 29. That Golden Bear stuff was all on the spot, yes. So there was an original person who was going to be in the match. I will say who it was to you people, because again, I'll break certain things over here, but Blue He-Man was supposed to come in at number 29. but upon review, again with our medical team, he was deemed to not be ready to come back to in-ring action, and we didn't want to risk him coming back to in the match just to potentially just get hurt even worse. So we just came up with something on the spot. We put Toucan in as a decoy, just so that way I can go backstage and I can get Golden Bear. And the reason why it was Golden Bear is because, well, the people really like him, and at least then it's like, you know, it's Golden Bear. The people like him, and I did it for the people. Well, I'll just say this, I was shocked to see Golden Bear in the Warzone match. Yeah, you know, I was shocked to see Golden Bear in the Warzone match too. I wasn't planning to be in there very clearly, but Golden Bear, congrats on being in the Warzone. And Blue He-Man, just get well soon, man. We're not going to try to rush you back, and don't try to rush yourself back either. Take all the time that you need to get yourself healthy. So I wasn't going crazy. Okay, so that script was actually true. Alright. And also, Observer, how about we talk about, go back to GW really quick. You know, somebody who you did fire, Matt Cardona, is the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, Matt Cardona, you know, he's taken a couple shots over here in FOW in the way that he was treated. Look, I treated Matt with nothing but respect. Sure, I didn't have that much stories with him, and I apologize to Matt for that, but I didn't treat him like he was a bad person, but I'm happy to see that he's doing well over there, and I'm rooting for him and his future success. Alright, and somebody who, you know, has a little bit of history with Matt Cardona. How's Scott Hall been adapting into this, like, producer, creative role? Oh, Scott's great. He's done everything that we've asked him to. He's helped look for, you know, he's helped talent scout a little bit. He's helped produce certain matches. He's been a constant backstage figure. But, you know, he's done it all in his, you know, in the Scott Hall way. I mean, he is the bad guy after all. So, you know, whilst he is a great help, you know, he maintains the Scott Hall persona. Well, it's not really a persona, it's just who he is. But you get the point. And, Observer, I got a question that the fans are dying to know. Okay, what's that one? Why is Elf still on commentary? Why is Al still on commentary? Why is Al still on commentary? He just kind of sits there in silence. Why is Al on commentary? Alright, I have heard this question before, and I'll answer it. So the reason why Al is still listed and shown as a commentary team is because that is one of my OG men. It was me, Mondo, and L when it first started as OWE, and it would just feel wrong to take L off of the screen. I know L, he's a quiet guy, but again, backstage, he helps out a lot. He helps out a lot with increasing the quality, the storyline. He will literally just, the way that he works his mind, it's genius. I mean, sure, like, I'll come up with the storyline idea, but then I'm like, okay, how do we do something? And he just comes up with everything. It's like on the spot, and it's like best story you've ever heard, and it's just like, holy hell, L, you're a genius. So just off of the sheer amount of things that L does, I keep him on commentary, and just because he was one of my OG people in OWE, I feel like it would be a little disrespectful of me to take him off the commentary team. I know he doesn't talk. I've tried to talk him into talking more. He said maybe he'll think about it. Maybe he'll start talking more. But for all those people asking, L will be on commentary. He will stay on commentary. He's not going to be removed from commentary. But I will try. I'll tell him to start talking more. You know, just for you people who maybe aren't satisfied with seeing L. Alright, I guess that was a pretty good answer. Of course it was a good answer. I mean, I'm not just gonna, I'm not gonna take that. Alright, and, I guess another backstage personnel news. Has there been any improvement in the relationship of Mondo and Firestar? Oh no, Mondo still doesn't like Firestar. He still views, Firestar as, she stole his job as an interviewer. We kind of did turn Mondo into a more full-time commentator. He doesn't do the interviews, Does that mean no more Mondo Gecko interviews? Well, I never said that. We will, eventually see the return of Mondo Gecko interviews. There's definitely been talks about it. We're just looking for the correct timing, obviously, with, scheduling and whatnot. But yes, there will be another Mondo Gecko's interview season eventually. But But he just views Firestar as she stole his job, and he doesn't really appreciate that, and he doesn't really appreciate Firestar at all. Alright, no improvement on that. Got it. Do you want to talk about the Warzone pay-per-view as an entirety? Like, yeah, we can talk about the Warzone. You know, Drew McIntyre finally got his moment. We will hear from him on our next show on FOW. We will hear from Drew McIntyre. Magnum TA can no longer say he has any type of championship because, well, he doesn't. Yeah, that's over. No, we don't have to hear from Magnum TA. And we got to know what's next for Radistic. I mean, the former champion, the first ever champion, he'd had a great run with the title, but what's next for him? That's a good question. And next, man, Jalisco knocked it out of the park, man. You know, I signed him, you know, after all the work he did in the independents. He knocked it out of the park with Gunther. He did a great job. Obviously Gunther is still the champion, and gotta wonder what's next for Gunther now that he is no longer. He doesn't have to worry about the down ass fools. I wonder what's he gonna be doing next. You know, you got the tag team champions, Public Enemy, who retained over Elias and Ezekiel, and DD Dream, who were really popular, really over in New York. Just couldn't get it done, and Elias and Ezekiel finally got their opportunity, couldn't get it done, and it seems like Public Enemy, their next opponents, I mean, on the last episode of FOW, the Lucha Bros said they had their eyes on whoever won that match, so you gotta imagine, is it gonna be Lucha Bros and Public Enemy? Oh, dude, sign me up. Sounds like a banger. I'm not gonna say if it is or isn't, but, you know, just to say, Lucha Bros, they did say they had their eyes on them. We have a new international champion in the form of Slappy, but Rusty is back. He's made his intentions clear. He'll do whatever it takes to get back to the international championship he never lost. Yeah, he had to vacate it the same day. You know, Rusty, we'll see what Slappy has him do. We'll see if even Slappy allows him to even get a match. I mean, who knows, but what is going to happen in the reign of Slappy? Who knows? He finally got the title that he's been chasing that eluded him. We've talked enough about the next match on the show. And then the Warzone match itself. So, bring me through the process. We saw 4 new superstars in that match. We saw the debut of Chad Gable, of Tyler Bate, of Logan Paul, and Braun Breaker. Take me through how those came about, Observer. Well, Chad Gable, we've just been really impressed with his work for a very long time. Obviously, he's a former Olympian, and we've been impressed with his work, and we really wanted to bring him over to FOW. And Gable was nothing but nice, and he was very accepting of being over here in FOW, and he liked the vision that we had, and we were like, alright, how about we get you in the Warzone match? He was down for it, and yeah, we got him in there nice and early in the Warzone, and it's great to have Gable here, and I'm curious to see what will be next in his future. And Tyler Bate, another man, we were just really impressed with his work. Tyler Bate's work ethic is insane. He's like he's damn near a megastar out in the UK, and it's just like, look, he reached out to us, really. We were impressed with his work, and we were eyeing him anyways, but he reached out to us, which just made everything so much easier in order to do contract details and do all that. He reached out to us. You know, obviously his good friend Pete Dunne is here in FOW, and, you know, a lot of people who he shared the UK independent scene are here in FOW, so, yeah. Tyler Bate reached out to us. We accepted, made contract details all the more easier, and he showed up in the Warzone. You brought up Logan Paul. I'll save him for last, cause oh boy, that was a conversation. But Braun Breaker, as far as Braun Breaker goes, I'm gonna be honest. That was one of the guys that Scott Hall, he like scouted himself personally. He told me, this kid has damn near everything and is certainly the image of future of wrestling. Scott Hall was telling me I should sign him. He was telling me all about him, and I was like, okay, okay. So I then reached out to Braun, and I was messaging him some contract details, some ideas. I said he can show up number 30 in the war zone, maybe get a few eliminations, and just do his thing. And he was very open to being in the war zone, obviously, of course. And then you did see him in the war zone and got quite a few eliminations. And this guy is the limit for this guy. Having seen him wrestle now myself, and having seen, just how athletic he is, the sky is the limit. This is the type of guy who you can see winning the world championship, the type of guy you can see main eventing pay-per-views. This sky is the limit. He can do damn near anything you want him to do. And that brings us next to Logan Paul. So, obviously, as you know, we're trying to bring the future of wrestling. So we want as many eyes on the product as possible. And we've done a great job at building stars, building superstars, and having certain superstars come into this company out of nowhere. We heard Logan Paul was getting into wrestling. So we decided, why not take a chance on him? We reached out to Logan. And of course we were ignored because it's Logan Paul. I had my team reach out to him, and again, we were still ignored. And, just kept trying to reach out to him until one day he kind of just answered, just saying, he was just, being Logan Paul, said some things, and, we then explained to him why we were reaching out to him so many times. Logan was then open to discussing, and, let's just say I had to give a large sum of money that, not saying that that's why I cut certain people off the roster, but they definitely did help pay for that contract. How much did you give him? We don't have to discuss that. I gave him, let's just say he was given a lot of money. He showed up, and he did a lot more than I expected him to do. And Logan Paul, let me say this. I heard you were getting into wrestling, yes. I know you are an athlete. I know how athletic you are. I know how many eyes you can bring onto this product. And I appreciate you for actually taking the chance here in FOW. But I did not think you were going to be wrestling like that. Logan Paul was cooking. I'll just say this. Yeah, sure, you might not like Logan Paul, or you might not be the big fan of Logan Paul, but you gotta respect him. I mean, when he was doing in the Warzone match, I didn't expect Logan Paul to do. So I'm curious if we'll see the evolution, how Logan Paul progresses here in FOW, but, yeah, it was a hassle to get him, and, lots and lots of money. Alright, well, now that we have debuts out the way, how about we just talk about the Warzone match in general? The Warzone match in general, it was special. Bringing something from OWE and carrying it over to FOW, bringing it into the future of wrestling. It was a special moment for me to have the Warzone back. It was special to have the Warzone. And Sami Zayn went wire to wire from number 1. And he did the unthinkable. Something I never thought I would see in my lifetime. And something that I don't think anybody ever saw coming. Goku Black was pinned, lost to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's your number 1 contender for Kenny Omega. But not only just that, Goku Black, again, he was a monster in that match. Near the end, he took out Thor, SpongeBob, Konosuke Takeshita. By the way, shout out Konosuke Takeshita. Look, I know Mondo, he loves Konosuke. It's very obvious. He loves Konosuke. He says he's one of the best wrestlers in the world and definitely the best wrestler in the company. Konosuke's great. He sold me after what he did in the Warzone match. What a showing. What a performance. Making it to the Final 5. Almost pinning Goku Black himself. Konosuke Takeshita. I might be on this train with Mondo. The sky's the limit for him, and I definitely see a lot of potential and a lot of things in his future. SpongeBob again. So close. So close. Goku Black, though, just shuts all SpongeBob's momentum down and got him out of there. Thor, yet again, so close. But his wrestling soulmate, his wrestling nemesis, Goku Black took him out. And then, Sami Zayn, you got what you wanted. You got a matchup with the world champion. Is he going to make the most of it? I guess we have to wait and find out. And also, how about we talk about big business? Miro, maybe not the most embracing or welcoming of Alvin. Still hasn't necessarily accepted Alvin fully, but Miro looked great in that Warzone match. Also, wait. Observer, before you continue, I remember when number 28 came out, Tyson Scott, you said if he does what he kept doing to Armless Man, he would win the Warzone, only for him to immediately be eliminated. What the hell was up with that commentary call? That was a little bit of an interesting one. What? All I'm saying is, he decimated Armless Man. He destroyed him. He ended Armless Man's career. Obviously, if he's wrestling and doing things like he was doing to Armless Man, so if he's decimating and destroying people's careers, obviously he's going to win the match. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying that, I had my money on him, and I'm not picking Tyson Scott. I'm just saying, if he kept... if he was doing what he was doing to Armless Man, there was a chance. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying that, I don't blame people for not having him as a favorite. Also, another person who looked great in the Warzone came out at number 5, made it all the way to the end. Shout out to the peak himself, Ujiri. Great showing. Owen Hart screwed over Ujiri. Hit him with an Owen driver, hit him with a steel chair, and Goku Black just pinned him and got rid of him. But, yeah, Ujiri was, screwed over by Owen Hart, but still a great showing nonetheless. How about we talk about another soccer? Pac came out the match just to basically get eliminated. I guess Pac wasn't as ready as we anticipated him to be. I don't know what was up with Pac in that match. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And, we saw Johnny Trek in that match right after what happened, and from what we saw of him, he seemed a lot more vicious. He seemed a lot more angrier and a lot more vicious. Definitely a very hungry superstar, and I'm, especially after what was broken and tonight here on Future Talk, I'm curious to know what the hell they're going to have to say on the next episode, though I can probably already imagine. And then we also saw, if I want to bring it up, this, Evil Eye and Mason interacted in the Warzone. Mason Blood eliminated Evil Eye, and things over there is just getting more and more personal. And we finally saw Claudio and Cassius throwing hands. Again, Claudio immediately comes in, uppercut, did the neutralizer, and eliminated Cassius Ohno. Quick succession, but Cassius, while he was in the match, did his thing. My best friend Trent Beretta was eliminated by Logan Paul. And Logan Paul had some words for Trent Beretta as he was walking away and just trying to, actually, accept the fact that he was just eliminated. And, I wonder what my best friend's going to have to say about that. Manny Boy and Brad Ranger, they had a nice, Manny Boy eliminated pretty quickly, I won't lie, but Brad Ranger had a nice showing there. We saw complications within the gang as Me Wrestling and Nelly were both taken down. And Me Wrestling accidentally placed his hand over Nelly and eliminated him. That is just... I'm so curious to know what the hell's going to happen backstage with the gang. But the Warzone match, there was a lot of things that happened. I can't obviously just talk about the entire match. It was a great match. Obviously, I will recommend you to watch it because it's on the channel. And if you're over here, well, watch the damn match. But Warzone was a success. I'm glad that we were able to bring something from OWE into the future of wrestling. But, our next pay-per-view, it's actually right behind us. We have this set up just because it was a token of the first show, but the next time FOW is brought to you is FOW Double or Nothing. Indeed, it is Double or Nothing, where, obviously nothing necessarily confirmed yet, as it's way too early in the build to confirm anything, but maybe some people have ideas, maybe some people have things, but, look, last time we were at Double or Nothing, it was the first ever show of FOW. This ain't the first show of FOW anymore. So just expect some great things coming in Double or Nothing. Expect greatness coming out of Double or Nothing. And I'm very excited to do Double or Nothing. It signifies that we made it from the first show all the way back to Double or Nothing. We've made it. FOW did make it. Healthy lifespan. Healthy lifespan. We didn't just come here, do a couple shows and leave like OWE. We came here, we put up competition, and we're still here. And we are where the best wrestle. Yeah, but you know, also, after Double or Nothing, we can expect to see Wembley Stadium. All in. It's going to be a massive show that you're going to want to be here for the ride. You're going to want to be along for the ride, because it's just going to be so special, and it's monumental. It's history. The fact that we were able to get into Wembley Stadium, all in, it's an insane accomplishment, and it really tells you how much success we have had as a company. So, very, very excited for that, and happy to get on the road to that. Also, Observer, I have a question for you that I've been thinking about for a little bit now. Oh, really, Daffy? What's up? With the recent releases and the, recent people gone, is there any chance that we see new superstars, like, on television? And I'm not talking about debuts, I'm talking about, like, people who don't get the TV time. So, for example, somebody like a Braden Holland, or maybe Batista comes back, or Ricochet. There's definitely now some available time for other superstars, and we may put some room on the show just to see really, truly what they have, maybe. That was a good question there, Daffy. We'll definitely be thinking about that and discussing that backstage, because obviously we did have a couple things, but we're going to have to discuss certain things, and we'll see. We'll definitely see. Actually, I have a question for you, Observer. Yeah, what's up? What happened to Jake Helms? I mean, the guy was the first ever, at the time it was the New Era title, but now it's the PRF Championship. But what happened to him? After that match with Gunther, he hasn't been seen. What happened to Jake Helms? Well, he just kind of, he wasn't really connecting. He's good in the ring. He can talk, but he wasn't really connecting, so we took him off a little bit just to try to get him in a more, some way to connect to the fans a little bit more. While he was training, exercising, he had a minor injury, but it wasn't anything crazy. He could still wrestle. We're just really trying to figure out a way to repackage him, how to, re-bring him back in, and not only just that, but he doesn't really seem to be in a rush to get back onto television himself either, so, it's just more so finding a thing to, repackage him with. But, yeah, Jake Helms, there's some things I can say, regarding his tenure in FOW. Again, yeah, as you mentioned, he's an inaugural champion, and he did what he needed to do with that reign. But after that thing with Gunther, and all that need of repackaging, and the fact that he hasn't, I don't want to say that obviously, because we're on a show. He's still in the company, but you can just assume there were some cuts, and let's just say his name may have been brought up as a potentiality. Well, I did just kind of say. Jake Helms, just know, your job's fine for now, but, preferably I'd like to get you back to television as soon as possible. So, yeah, just, stop avoiding work, I guess. Well, okay, I guess that answers that question. Well, Observer, I got another question, though. Yeah, sure, Shaman, shoot. So, obviously, I know you brought it up, but Rusty's back. How does that make you feel to see that he's, like, okay? Or, obviously, I didn't want him to be dead or, permanently career-ended. So it's great to see that he's healthy. It's great to have him back in FOW. I was happy in that moment. I didn't know he was going to come back. I didn't know he was going to show up. And that's why my reaction was so authentic. I didn't think, and then I thought it was just a fake out because, you know, he wasn't there when his music. And to see him come out, hit a tripod, be back in the ring with his friends, his boys, it was a nice moment. It was really nice to see. Glad to have Rusty back, and curious to see what Rusty will be doing as, you know, far as his future goes. Oh, I just remembered something else. So when you were talking about the Warzone, you didn't bring up something. Oh, what's that? Oh, I'll know what you're talking about. So, we saw GV&W superstar Timothy Breaker in the Warzone match. Is there any plans to continue using him here in FOW? Well, it was nice to have Timothy Breaker over here. He was the only GV&W star in the Warzone. Obviously, he's spoken a couple times about how he would like to show up, have a match in FOW just to see what all this hype's about. And he got to do that in the Warzone. I guess he made a little bit of a friend in Logan Paul. Obviously, he was coming off of a huge win at SummerSlam over Hangman. And to answer your question, do we have any plans on using him again? If he was open to doing it, we'd be down to working with him, but that's all a matter of communication. But it was nice to have Timothy Breaker in the Warzone. It was a pleasant surprise. It was a nice thing. And again, all it takes is a little bit of communication, and we'll be using them. Well, I hate to interrupt this, but I looked at my phone for 1 second, and there's a bit of breaking news. Oh, really? What's the breaking news? Yeah, come on, Daffy, what's the breaking news? Come on, don't keep us in suspense. So the breaking news is... So, earlier when we brought up Splinter is taking his stocks and starting another company, it's just been reported that Todd McFarlane is taking some interest into investing into this. Oh, Todd McFarlane, that's another pretty big genius mind. And they've taken some interest in some big independent talent. Oh, they're taking some interest? Well, who are they taking interest in? Well, there is a little bit of a list, but, I don't know. Let me read it out to you. Well, the first name on the list, to no one's surprise, obviously, the ROH connection, and, obviously, but it is reported they have interest in TMNT. Oh, TMNT, okay. The ROH Tag Team Champions, okay. So, that's interesting. They have interest in the current ECW World Television Champion, Warlord. Hey! It's nice to see him doing good after his FOW release. It also, hey, sure, this is later down the list, but it says that they have interest in multiple released FOW superstars. Multiple? Multiple. It also name drops Obito Uchiha, Miguel O'Hara, It also states that they are looking for rising stars in the independent scenes, as some quieter names include Gregory Anderson, Sauce Ramirez, and the Daredevil himself, a very big rising star popular in the independent scene, Quinn Malator. That is an insane list. It also states that Todd McFarlane has interest in one big superstar. Doesn't say who? Well, it doesn't say who. That's a bit ominous, but that is a list of talent. Wow. Some of those, I'm not gonna lie, I did have my eye on, had a little bit of interest in, but I'm not gonna necessarily steal. But Todd McFarlane and Master Splinter are willing to invest in this. I mean, those are two genius minds, and that was a great list of talent. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to reach out to them to get into a little bit of contact. What are you trying to say there? I'm saying I might just get into contact with them. Maybe I'll help them out a little bit. Help a new company start off. At the end of the day, we're supposed to be the future of wrestling. So I'm not going to just gatekeep it. I'm going to try to help expand, my vision for what the future of wrestling really entails. So if a new company wants to try and come up because of Splinter and Todd McFarlane, and they have all their eyes on these superstars, well, I might get in contact with them a little bit just to, tell them how, how it feels to, to really get them settled in. I get that, I get that. I don't know what you're trying to entail with that, Observer. I'm not trying to entail anything, I'm just saying. Okay. Shotman, you always, it seems like you're always trying to look into things. Hey man, you gave me a job back, so, obviously, I'm just happy to be here, really. I'm just looking around, I happen to spot some things, and, I'm supposed to be the guy asking the questions. I'm on Future Talk so, yeah, I'm gonna ask you some hard questions. I'm gonna ask you some questions that you didn't expect to hear, and, it's my job to be observant. Hey, I'm the observer, not you. Well, all I'm saying, I gotta be a little bit observant. I'm on this show. I mean, I guess that is true. We have to have topics to talk about. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that sounds like a great list of talent if you really want to start up a brand. Oh, yeah, it sounds like a pretty good list of talent. I mean, I can't lie about that one. Well, you know what? Good for them. I'm glad Splinter is finding his footing again. Good to hear Todd McFarlane is involved in this. I will try to reach out to them, but if you guys happen to hear about this, if you guys happen to watch it, I'm formally inviting you guys to show up on the next episode of FOW. Really? Yeah, you guys are formally invited. We can, talk about certain things on camera in front of these fans, get you guys, familiar with, a backstage locker room and, alrighty then. Yeah, you guys are formally invited. Hope to see you guys there at FOW. Well, we didn't cover it really in the early stages of the show where we were talking about other wrestling news, but a lot of stars from New Japan, their contracts are coming up soon. Oh, really? Like who? Will Ospreay's a free agent soon? Will Ospreay? Kazuchika Okada? Okada? Oh, oh wow, I'm gonna be digging deep into my wallet. I mean, okay, yeah, that's some pretty big stars right there. Those two in specific, yeah. Yeah, and obviously you know about a lot of free agents that are out there in the world. Yeah, I do. There's a lot of people whose contracts are coming up or are already up, and obviously, you did confirm earlier in the show that there's a debut on the next show, but how many debuts do you got planned? How many debuts do I got planned? Well, I can tell you, there's somebody on the next show, but that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give you all the, you're not getting all the insider info out of me. I know what you're trying to do, and you're not going to get it. Oh, damn it. Just know, I have my interest in certain people. I'd love to bring them in to FOW. There's certain people who I've been in contact with. And, yeah. Also, excuse me, I guess, for being observant, but, I've heard some murmurings backstage that, apparently certain people's times in FOW is coming to a close. Is there any truth behind that? Well, I guess you can say there's some truth to it. I mean, obviously, I know one of those people who was probably discussed from what you're hearing about is, Terry Funk, who has said numerous times and has also been said on commentary numerous times, he's just trying to do a final run. He's trying to have his retirement tour. When it'll end, we don't know, but, as far as other people go, I'm not answering that. Again, you're not getting insider info out of me, you guys. Aw, damn it, dude. Come on. Not even a little bit of a scoop. Come on. Just a little bit. No, I can't. I just can't. I can't do it in good faith. I can't. Because then you people are going to be speculating, and I don't want to name drop any names, but let's just say there's people who are, they know. And, yeah. Well, Observer, you're no fun. I was just trying to get some info for these people. Hey, and these people will find out they'll have to watch the show now, won't they? I guess. But the next episode of FOW, pretty stacked. I mean, we're going to see the fabulous Three Birds in action against whatever members of the Ministry of Darkness. So, wait, Observer, I got a question with you about the fabulous Three Birds. Oh, yeah, what is it? So, Nico and Woodstock aren't officially signed. Why is that? Oh, well, I'll tell you why. They kind of just showed up they kind of showed up with Toucan one day. So I didn't have any prior knowledge to it. So I haven't really had time yet to discuss contract details with them. So they're just free agents. They kind of they're working here. And they're kind of just working here for free. So it shows you that they do respect the love of the game. And, I guess I thank Toucan for, bringing them in. We'll see what they have, though, on the next episode of FOW. Let's see if Nico and Woodstock are about that, and, let's see how good they truly are. We're going to see the Chase U student section. They're going to have their first real test in front of a crowd, having, match with Devon Dudley. And, obviously there's a lot more, we'll hear from certain people. There's probably some matches that, they're not coming to me right now, but you get the point. It's going to be a pretty nice episode. It's going to be pretty stacked. You're going to want to see it. You're not going to want to miss it. But, I feel like we've talked about a lot of things here today, boys. Oh, indeed we have. A lot of nice things, a lot of breaking news, a lot of heartbreaking things, such as the Cheeto news. The Cheeto, I just can't get my head around that Cheeto news. It's crazy to think about. Yeah. Again, I don't want to talk about it. Chino, I know you're watching this. I just want to say this. Thank you for what you've done to FOW. Thank you for making the international title prestigious. Thank you for bringing the eyes of FOW to a lot of people. Thank you for, sharing the vision for the future of wrestling to other people. Thank you for helping this channel grow. Thank you for the storytellings that you do. Thank you for your match quality. Thank you, Cheeto, as an individual. The Infinite One will never be forgotten. Cheeto, thank you for all you've done for FOW. And, I hope one day we see you back in FOW. Enjoy your break from wrestling. But we've had a lot to say here on Future Talk today. And I think this is where we will come to a close. This is the end of it. Thank you guys for having me back on the show. Oh, of course, it's great to have you back on the show. So, next time, is it going to be you guys by yourself? Well, that's up to you. Well, maybe next time you guys will be by yourself. Maybe you'll have a different guest, but I'm not going to be here the next time there's a Future Talk episode because, I wasn't even supposed to be here this time. But, it was because, it's after Warzone, after SummerSlam, there's a lot of things going on. It's nice for me to be here again. Also, I had to break some news some way, so, thank you guys for allowing me to be here. Of course, dude. At the end of the day, who are we to refuse you? You're a boss. Yep, but, peace out, you guys. It was nice to be here. Alright, see ya, Observer. Well, that was a nice talk, wasn't it, Shoutmon? Oh, yeah, it was a pretty nice talk with the Observer. Next time we're here on Future Talk, we don't know if we'll have a special guest, but if we don't, it'll just be me and Daffy. But until the next time, we're on the Future Talk. Thank you for listening, thank you for hearing, and thank you for observing. We'll see you on the next Future Talk. Peace out, everybody.